All right, I'm gonna explain to you how to make just a quick, easy batch of biodiesel. It's pretty easy for the most part. The one thing that I don't do is on every batch of mine, I don't do a titration test, which, it's definitely a good idea. Basically, if you're getting really bad oil, it's telling you how much of your chemical you should be using. My oil is fairly clean, so I just use a generic titration number. If I remember right, it's 6. As far as biodiesel goes, like the calculator to figure out, you can just get in Google and it'll pull up probably 6 or 7 of them, whatnot. And I just went to like the first or second one, it'll tell you, how much oil you're gonna use, your titration level, and then pretty much it'll give you everything else. So it'll tell you how much lye to put in, how much methanol, whatnot. Right now, or kind of explain to you, this is your mixing tank or your processing tank for your methanol lye solution with your veg oil. This is your mixing tank for just your methanol and your lye. Mine's mixing right now. I just started mixing it, probably about another 5 minutes or so, and I'll put it into the big tank. So for this, I've got 40 gallons of waste vegetable oil. I've got 8.8 gallons of methanol, and then I've got 3 pounds, 10 ounces of lye. That is my generic recipe I've been using for the last year. It's worked very well. I think I've probably the 30 batches I've made, I think I've only had 2 that were bad. And the reason they were bad was I didn't heat the oil up properly. That is a key factor. In order for the reaction process to work right, your whole mixture, but I always say just your veggie oil, it needs to be up to at least 130 degrees Fahrenheit. So I normally will just pour mine in, and then I'll go ahead and mix this stuff, and then this actually gets really warm. Like if you feel this right now, it's definitely warm to the touch. I'll mix that in to here. I'll let it start mixing, and then once it starts mixing, I'll actually turn on my heater. I've got 2. I've got an inline heater for the summer months, and then I've got a tank heater as well for more of the winter months when it starts cooling down and whatnot. I live in North Florida, so it doesn't get too cold, but definitely in the winter time, some of the colder days, and by colder days I mean when it gets to 40 degrees, even in the 50 degrees, I'll turn on both heaters just to save time. Your inline heater, mine is just a 120 volt. You pick it up at the local hardware store, you plumb it in, but just that one, even in the winter time down here, it'll heat the entire tank up. It just takes longer. I normally, with the heaters running, I try to keep it to where it mixes for about an hour, hour and a half, because I don't have all day to look over this and whatnot. So that's kind of my big thing. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to start mixing my methanol lye into my big tank, and then I'll put the video back on and kind of show you the process of that. Alright, so now I have the whole mixture in here. All I did is I've just moved it over to here, and how I do that is a set of valve system that I'll show you right now. It looks real messy, but it functions perfectly. It's just a 1-pump system. This is the inline heater that I was telling y'all about. I just got to plug it in real quick, and then basically it's just valves from tanks to switch to and from whatever you need, and then going to which tank you want it to. It's pretty simple. And then here, let's see if I can get a better picture of it for y'all. You can see this is where it's coming in. Right now, let's see if I can get a good picture of it. It's a real amber color right now. Now, once everything starts to cool down, it's going to turn like a milky color, and that'll happen. So you turn the heater on, but then once the oil gets hot again, then it'll go away, and it'll basically turn kind of back into this color. So now I've got the heater plugged in, and then I've made myself a little just a little thermometer basically. And so all I'll do is to check it. I just put it down in there and I just take a look to see like what you're sitting at right now. I'm sitting at about 78, 79 degrees, something like that. So it's got a little bit. Not a big deal. Like I said, it takes an hour or so to get everything mixed, warmed up, and whatnot. And once it starts to thicken up, like I'll show you. I'll show you when because you'll start to get stuff that floats, and it's just real chunky fat stuff. That's why it's better to heat it beforehand. I tend not to. It's just how I do it. But this is a pretty good starter setup. Like I said, the heater, that was like 25 bucks.